Right. This right there is what we are working with. Some steak, spaghetti, and one singular egg. I don't know how much this actually will help, but yeah, audio sync. Yeah, and by the way, the clock is 01:31. And yeah, I don't know. Like, life right now is quite tedious. It is currently just me, myself, and I doing the same thing day after day, over and over. Applying for jobs and doing market research. Not getting any money, not having an income. Currently, I live in my mom's apartment, so I don't have any like expenses to pay. But yeah, she's moving. So I also recently moved, by the way. But yeah, so she isn't here now because she's already moved, and yeah, there's just a few more weeks ish here. So now I've got a lot of time to just think and be by myself and all of that. So yeah. But I don't know, man. Like, I need to get a job. Preferably a remote one. Because, yeah, I live at my cousin's house right now. Like, not right now, but in general. And that is a very left wing, open minded, but not open minded in like accepting opinions from different sorts, but very like, yeah, I suppose left wing is the right word for it. Like a very modern, open to different genders, open to different opinions, all of that, coping mechanisms, and yeah, just, I don't know. I still love them though, because it's family. Now it sounds very negative, and it's definitely not like that. It's just that I notice I find myself fighting against myself, like subconsciously, because their opinions are very contradictory to mine. And that entire house loves to argue, except for the dad. But the thing is this, like, my cousin's dad, and is not my uncle, by the way, like in that sense, because my aunt is no longer married to him. But yeah, he's an individual, and he has some pros and cons, like we all do. But I don't like to argue in that house because it just doesn't lead anywhere. But yeah, that isn't even the topic that I was initially going to talk about at all. Like, what I was actually going to talk about is like skipping the tedious work. Like, or no, yeah, I guess you could say it like that, but that's not what I meant though. What I mean is cutting down on the amount of vanity stuff you do related to your business ventures, such as logos, website design, code for the website, even like copywriting to some extent. Like, everything doesn't need to be perfect when you start. Like, just start. The more you think about if it's correct or incorrect, the more you'll overthink certain stuff. And like, if you want to be that deep a rabbit hole to begin with, then you're most likely already doing better than a lot of people when you initially start out. Because the people that most often get results are the ones that doesn't really think, they just do. Like, their website and all of that can be completely horrendous, but they still get stuff done. And like, it's just because they do. Whether it is that they aren't aware that it looks quote unquote bad, or that it's just that they're aware that it doesn't look the best, but they can't really do anything about the situation because they don't have the knowledge and they don't have the capital. So instead of becoming a full stack engineer, they just do what they can do and what they need to do, and not learn all other shit just to get a small thing done. And now I just fucking spilled tomato sauce on my shirt. Ain't that great? So, yeah, I don't know if any of you are in the same situation as me, like focusing on the unnecessary things rather than the necessary ones. But the problem with the current situation that I'm in is that I'm not balls fucking deep into something horrendous that I just need to figure out all by myself, all by my own. But I'm so far from a good spot as well. Like, and the thing is this, if I just live where I currently do, like at this place right here, then I would just get a normal 9 to 5 job. But the thing is this, I'm getting back to the other town a few hours from this town, like fairly soon. And there, yes, I will most likely get a job. But things are so far away in that town. And like I dropped out of college and now I realize that like that is not an optimal thing to do. So like the only real place I can get jobs at, like I can barely even get jobs at supermarkets. I can only be like a sales rep for like a very low ticket company. Or no, I think it actually might be high school that I dropped out of in US equivalent. So yeah, like it's hard getting jobs because people assume that you're just dumb. But then again, those people hiring to that stuff, like they don't want too ambitious people either because they know they won't stay. But they also don't want unqualified people that are dumb and uneducated. Like they want a fine mix of people that are presentable yet dumb, so they can stay, so they can do the job, be presentable, be a good reputation, and look good for the store or whatever, for the company, but not so good that what is this guy even doing here? He's way too overqualified, for example. So like, and that's kind of the situation that I'm in right now, I feel like. So that leaves me with online jobs, which is what I'm getting into now as well. Like I'm actually like applying for jobs online. Although like recently now in the past week and a half, I've had a lot of things like not a lot of things like that going on, but I've had a lot of different projects and stuff going on. Like I've been getting back to recording. I've been getting back to editing, like when I actually record, finding my style. But then at the same time, I'm creating the website, I'm writing like copy for the website, like blog posts, newsletters to just not be completely empty for the foreseeing future. And then at the same time, I need to keep up with the markets, keep on studying the markets. And that doesn't even include applying for remote jobs or continuing the improvement of my skills within the fields that I'm applying for jobs, if that makes sense. Nor does it include washing my clothes, go and buy food, cooking food, actually having some money to buy the fucking food and not going completely dead ass broke, like dead fucking broke. Like it encompasses a lot of different things. And that's the thing I mean with I'm not in that bad of a situation where I need to do something like ASAP, but I'm also far from a like good spot right now. And it might seem so weird to some people. Like I sit here, I'm watching TV right now, I'm eating at 01:46 and doing what you could consider complaining. But yeah, it's weird. Like I've had way lower points in my life, like extremely lower points. Like when I was younger as well. And the funny thing is like I found ways to make money to get what I wanted. Like back when I was young, I'm telling you, like all the way from 6th grade until I dropped out of high school, which is quite a few of years, I was making like steady money for my age during the entire time. Like I was like truly. But now for the past like 3-ish years, I'm not gonna say that I haven't made money because I still have. But like with crypto and all of that, like I haven't realized the gains because like taxes and all of that, I didn't keep track of anything. like at all when I first started. And then the gains added up, I lost a lot, and then the gains added up again, started from scratch, etc. Got a lot of money from airdrops, invested that money from the airdrops, got even more money, started trading, got liquidated once, still had a bunch of profits, started trading a bit more, did quite good, lost a bit, didn't get liquidated though, lost a bit more, added some more into the trading account, got even more money, got liquidated fully, had only a little bit left, and yeah, fast forward, now I'm here, got below 10k in my like overall crypto portfolio. So, and that is not anything that I'll use for trading. So, like, it is investments that are stuck for a reason. And yeah, I guess like the agenda of this video is not really to educate, really. It is more so to speak my thoughts and vocabularize my thoughts, to put them to life, gain some clarity in what I'm thinking. And yeah, essentially the conclusion I've come to right now is that like I need to start doing more of the necessary work, less of the less important work, and I need to start applying for jobs that is absolute priority number one, in conjunction with actually documenting. And I don't know if I should find a way to document something every day, just record and then throw it all together, or if I should just randomly take the camera and put it up like that and record every now and then. Like now, for the past 3-4 days, I've barely even recorded anything because I've just been at the computer. Like, to be honest, that is quite literally the only thing I've done. I've taken a few walks, but currently I'm also having a rest week from like training, because I can't even remember for how long I've trained. I've taken one rest week, or two maybe, yeah, 2 rest weeks this entire year, and one of the times I was sick, and the other time I was just like, I'd been pulling all-nighters I think 4 or 5 times in 2 weeks. So like that plus training, my body started to get really fatigued, especially without any rest weeks, and training like quite intensely every workout, almost every day. Not almost every day, literally. Whether it was push, pull, legs, running, shoulder, something else, like I was training. So yeah, now I've taken a rest week because I just feel my hips are aching so bad, like they literally hurt. Like, I don't know the right word for it in English, but when I walk, it looks like I've been pause. Yeah. And my shoulder, like my right shoulder hurts like hell as well, and I can't really like take it further than this. Whereas the left shoulder, I can take it like all the way up here. And this right shoulder, like it hurts now. I can more, but it hurts. I will not do it because, yeah, a little bit more. But about here is my limit without it hurting too much. And then my knees, same thing. So like, yeah. And I don't know if I need some rehab or some deep tissue. Like, there's something, not massage, but like something that is deeper than like deep tissues in muscles. that you can like make your body reconstruct on a new basis or base. I don't know what it's called, but like it's some sort of acupuncture, like where you just go and press your fucking thumb into the like skeleton of the body and just twist around, and you destroy your body completely, and then it regenerates on you and heals and improves flexibility and stuff. So I guess it's kind of like deep tissue massage, but it's specialized in certain areas that are interconnected with each other. So like, for example, the traps are connected with the neck, and that most people training and into some physiognomy or whatever it's called are aware of. But what they aren't aware of is how that also affects the hip, and how if your hip is like too tight, how that affects your like all the way down to your ankle, and how your ankle affects like how you move here will affect your back again, and how your back is like restricted due to your hip and due to your ankle. Suddenly all now of a sudden like affects your shoulder, because you can't get that reach, because if you go further back with the shoulder, then you need to adjust the back, and then you can't adjust the back further because your hip is limiting that, as well as your knee, as well as your ankles. So like, I don't know. And yeah, my body is like an old man's. I'm not even gonna cap. But right now I don't even have the time, money, or desire to fix it, because there's so many other things that needs priority before the flexibility and fluidity of my body's movements. As long as my heart health, my mental health is good. Like, I guess that's what matters the most. Then everything else will have to come secondary. But yeah, as previously mentioned, I need to start doing more of the important tasks. Stop avoiding those tasks. And honestly, it's not even that they are important, but what I've come to realize recently is that my beliefs are very contradictory. And a perfect example of that is how, I don't know if I'll have put it up on the screen or anything like that, but yesterday actually. Now it's like 2 or 3 o'clock, but yeah, yesterday, sometime during the day, I was just singing to old EDM songs. Like, I actually recorded it, and like I was just vibing, and then I realized that that side of me and the side where I've been playing video games, for those who don't know, and I've been like one of those really grinding sweats on like different games. I don't know, I might put up some footage of it or something like that. But yeah, so that is one side of me. And then I have another side of me, which is this side right here actually, which is just talking and being quite neutral. And then I have 2 other sides, and that is one quite expressive side, like I could go out in public and just record, and I think that is a bit more connected to the first gaming side or whatever, if you could only have 2 sides. And then the second and other major side of me is the one that blurs out my face right now because of various reasons. One being that I do not want to be famous. I want my privacy, which actually might be the more creative going out in the wilderness exploring type of side. But then there's another reason, like agenda image, that it is weird, quote unquote, doing so. Like, the fun thing is that if I'd see someone do what I'm doing right now, I might have actually judged them. Like, I don't know. Either I would have respected the hell out of them because they're doing something very unique that not a lot of people dare to do, or I would have thought, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, so you're here. Like, I have beliefs that are contradicting each other very hard. And I think that both of these personalities, it's hard for me to differentiate which one exactly is which. And what leads me to feel the way I feel about certain things, like why I want to blur out my face, because I know although I could become famous, like it most likely wouldn't even be a too big of a deal. So that leaves me with the option, is it because I'm afraid of being judged because I do what I do? But then again, like, I've recorded out in public showing my face, like showing my actual face to real people, but I don't want to show it online. And then there's certain things that I won't even mention on YouTube right now, like two more specific things that I'm thinking of, which probably are more of the reasons to it. But essentially it comes down to privacy again, though. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, wait a second, I'm actually gonna put this on my shirt. So yeah, the thing I was saying, like, contradicting myself to a certain degree, like I have different personalities, I assume you could say. And one of those personalities are probably, or not probably, they most definitely do not like the idea of like applying for jobs, asking others for help, and being seen as needy or pushy or, yeah, all of that. But at the same time, in my current situation, it's very hard for me not to have a detached way of thinking or detached way of like applying for jobs and all of that, because essentially that mentality stems from actually being detached and actually not caring. And yeah, I don't know, it's a complex topic, honestly. Like, at the end of the day, I think I'm still figuring out like who I really want to become, who I really am right now. I know who I have been, but I'm very unsure of who I am now. And which mental direction I want to go in, which side of me I want to choose. If I want to choose the mask and the blurred face, or if I want to choose the face. EDM music, being out in public, not caring. Or the adventure with a rain jacket. Just listening to nature, no music at all. Or the mask, blurred face, and rap. Like, it's very hard for me to decide because they all coexist within me. All of them are me. I just need to find a way to integrate, like, all three or both or all three of them together into a nice blend, into a nice mix. But it's actually more recently that I've come to the conclusion that the person I was just 1, 2, 3 or 4 years ago, or 3, 4 years ago, is not who I really was. Like, that is someone I pretended to be. But then, after more things occurred in my life, and I thought about more things both in my childhood and events that have happened, I've also realized that one thing doesn't have to remove the other. Like, just because you want a Rolls Royce doesn't mean you can't have a Ferrari or Lamborghini. And just because you like one girl doesn't mean you can't like another girl. And just because you have hurt your foot doesn't mean that your eye can't be poked out by a MMA fighter who's drunk and uncontrollable of his feelings. Like, essentially what I'm trying to say is that nothing at all, honestly. I'm just chatting, man. But at the end of the day, like, I think that these conversations that we have with ourselves, or that some people don't even have because they're so focused on just scrolling on social media and distracting themselves with other people that they don't even like. And that's another thing which I'll come to right after this. Like, most people don't have these conversations, but they are so rewarding because you truly, like, you say one thing and then you come to think of another thing, and then you realize another thing that leads to saying another thing, and it just perpetuates itself, and you become infinitely wiser than you previously was. Because wisdom just, it doesn't come from just experience. You definitely need wisdom or experiences to conjure wisdom, but experiences are only a singular part of the recipe. The other thing you need is thought and time alone as well to process your experiences and not run away from them. That is one of the things that have led to the most, like, awakening and wisdom for me. And how do I know that I'm wise? I don't. Who knows? I might not be. But if I look at myself from, like, a third perspective, like ignoring that I'm me, and I go outside of my body and I just observe myself from a different perspective, and observe the observer from yet another different perspective to make sure that that again yet is like rational or objective, if that makes sense. Like, it's very hard to explain. Like, let's say I'm here, there's another person here, and then right now as I talk, I'm not really experiencing this other thing, but I can see myself and this other person from my from this perspective. But then yet again, I look with this perspective on both of us, from my perspective, with my knowledge, with my philosophies and like values and morals, I suppose, and way of thinking. But then there's another step after that, which views the viewer and realize that this viewer, this is just another way of thinking yet again. So like, I don't know, it's very hard to explain. But what I try to come to say is that, like, even the way I'm thinking now, what people are even thinking like this in their old age? Not a lot of people. And is it intelligence? Is it wisdom? Is it both? I don't know, honestly. Like, I truly do not know. But if we're gonna take it as Wikipedia and whatever considers it, then I have a way of speaking my thoughts and seeing things that a lot of people simply don't do. And that is why I would like to believe that I'm quite wise. Yeah, long explanation. But back to this previous thing. And that is that these moments where you just talk out and all of that, they are like, that is what leads to this wisdom. And yeah, I actually do not have anything more to say right now, except for one thing. And that is, man, I love B words. BITCHES, man. I love them, I love them, I love them. But right now, I'm focused on a mission, and I honestly cannot distract myself. Like, there will be a time and place for women and woman. But right now, if I were to involve women in my life, it would just be taken away time from me, and it would be for them. Me say to them, no woman, no cry. So yeah, man. Women will come automatically. Ultimately, what it comes down to is just controlling your fucking urges, controlling your mind, your sexual desire, sexual urges. But yeah. I really have nothing more to say right now. If you made it this far to the video, comment. What should you be commenting? Comment Taoism or Taoism. Comment Sun Tzu, or comment Lao Tzu. Yeah, Lao Tzu. Comment Lao Tzu or Tao if you watched this far. And then go subscribe to my newsletter. My newsletter are where all of these long ass videos will be condensed into text-based versions of 5 minutes maybe. And there's also where I post my market thesis of crypto and all of that. So yeah, go subscribe to that. And don't forget to comment Lao Tzu if you watched this far. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you want to as well. And like the video. Really appreciate you for watching this far. Truly, if you made it this far, then you have an attention span of a fucking, I don't know, Stone Age person. And that is good, by the way. But yeah, man, I appreciate you. And until further notice, take care. Peace, man. No woman, no cry. No